He was tired. Tired of starting over. Tired of watching others move forward while he stayed stuck. Nothing seemed to work. Every goal ended in frustration. Every dream felt further away. And slowly, he started to believe that maybe success just wasn't meant for him. Until one day, something inside him snapped, not from anger, but from clarity. He realized it wasn't bad luck. It wasn't lack of talent. It wasn't the world against him. It was the choices he made every single day, the distractions, the lack of structure, the excuses. He didn't need another miracle. He needed discipline. The kind that hurts at first, but rebuilds you stronger than ever before. This story isn't about someone who had it easy. It's about someone who was broken, mentally, emotionally, and financially, but who used one simple shift to turn his entire life around. And if you feel stuck right now, this might be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. His name was David, and for most of his adult life, he lived on autopilot. He woke up late, rushed through the day, and ended his nights promising that tomorrow would be different. But tomorrow never was. He'd start things with energy, a new job, a fitness plan, a goal. But a few days in, the fire always burned out. And deep down, he started to believe that maybe he just wasn't built for success. David hated how he felt, but didn't know how to change. His phone controlled his mornings. Fast food ruled his meals. His paycheck disappeared before the month ended. He avoided difficult conversations, let toxic people stay in his life, ignored his health, and the worst part? He blamed everything but himself. The economy, the world, the past. Anything to avoid facing the truth. He wasn't lazy. He just didn't have a system. He didn't understand that without discipline, even the strongest dream becomes dust. And with each failure, his self-worth shrank. He'd scroll through social media, watching others succeed, wondering, why not me? But deep down, he knew the answer. He just wasn't ready to face it yet. Then one night, rock bottom hit harder than ever. He missed an important interview, lost another opportunity. His phone battery died, but something else turned on, a thought he couldn't ignore. If I keep doing what I'm doing, this is my life forever. And that scared him more than anything. He didn't talk about it much, but at night, it hit the hardest. Lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, he felt the weight of every wasted day pressing on his chest. All the promises he made to himself. Broken. All the dreams paused. He wasn't proud of who he was becoming. Just numb. And what scared him most was the thought that maybe this was all life had to offer him. David didn't wake up one morning and suddenly become disciplined. That's not how it works. There was no lightning bolt, no perfect plan. Just a quiet decision. I've had enough. Enough of wasting time. Enough of quitting. Enough of being stuck. So that night, he took out a notebook and wrote down 3 things. Wake up early. Move his body. Plan the day before it starts. The next morning, he did all 3. Not perfectly, but he did them. And then he did it again the next day. And the next. He started going to bed earlier. Stopped scrolling the moment he woke up. He cooked his own food for the first time in weeks. And with every small action, a little part of him started to come back to life. No one noticed at first. And that was fine. He didn't post about it, didn't brag, didn't need applause. Because for the first time, he wasn't doing it to prove anything. He was doing it to rebuild who he knew he could be. And each habit, repeated day after day, became a brick in the foundation of the man he was becoming. Discipline gave him something motivation never could: stability. He stopped chasing bursts of inspiration and started trusting the process. He learned to say no to comfort and yes to growth. And little by little, everything began to shift. Not just in his routine, but in his mind. Because when you do hard things daily, your brain starts to believe you're someone who doesn't quit. He started to crave the feeling of doing the hard thing. Not because it was fun, but because it reminded him that he was in control now. Every time he chose action over excuse, his confidence grew. He no longer waited for the perfect moment. He created it. And slowly, discipline stopped feeling like a punishment and started feeling like freedom. 6 months passed. No applause, no shortcuts, just day after day of showing up. And one morning, something happened that hadn't in a long time. He smiled without forcing it. His clothes fit better. His thoughts were clearer. His bank account no longer brought anxiety. But the biggest change wasn't outside. It was in the way he carried himself. People started to notice. His boss pulled him aside and said, "I don't know what you're doing lately, but keep doing it." He was offered a chance to lead a new project, something he would have doubted himself for before. This time, he didn't hesitate. He took the lead, built a team, delivered results. And suddenly, the same people who used to overlook him were asking for his advice. He didn't become perfect. He still had hard days, still felt tired sometimes. But now he didn't run from discomfort. He walked through it. When something went wrong, he didn't fall apart. He adjusted, recentered, and kept going. Because that's what discipline does. It makes you unstoppable, even on your worst days. His relationships got better. He had deeper conversations, clearer boundaries, more presence. He listened more, complained less. And the people close to him felt it. They didn't just see a man who was improving. They felt safer around someone who had built himself with intention. That kind of energy, it's contagious. And it started to change the people around him too. Now, I will explain to you in detail what you need to do to transform your life and achieve everything you want with the right step-by-step guide to make discipline your best ally. If you want to build discipline that truly changes your life, start by mastering your mornings. Wake up earlier than usual. Even 30 minutes is enough to shift your rhythm. Use that time to stay offline. Write your goals for the day, drink water, and move your body. Don't check your phone. Don't scroll. Just start the day on your terms, with clarity, control, and intention. Next, choose 3 core habits that will become non-negotiable. These should support your mind, body, and focus. For example, daily movement, focused reading for 15 minutes, and writing down what you accomplished each night. These aren't about being perfect. They're about proving to yourself that you keep promises. And that consistency is more powerful than intensity. Protect your environment like it's part of your brain, because it is. Clean your space. Say no to people who drain you. Keep your phone away while working. Prepare your meals in advance so you don't rely on impulse. Success comes from structure, and the more chaos you remove from your daily life, the more energy you'll have to create real progress. Finally, set a simple rule. Never go 2 days without doing what matters. You can miss 1 day. That's human, but never miss 2. That's how failure becomes a pattern. Build streaks, track progress. And remember, motivation fades, but identity sticks. When you act like the person you want to become, every day becomes a vote for the future you're building. You don't need to be the smartest, the richest, or the luckiest. You just need to decide, today, that the version of you from yesterday is not the one that's going to shape your future. Because once you take full control of your habits, your time, and your thoughts, everything changes. Success stops feeling like a fantasy and starts becoming a pattern. David's story wasn't about luck. It was about discipline, the kind that gets built in silence, one small step at a time. And if he could rebuild his life from the lowest point, so can you. You just have to start and keep showing up, even when no one's watching. And if this story lit something inside you, there's one more you need to hear. In the video on the left side of your screen, you'll find the story of a janitor who was ignored for years, until his dedication and resilience took him all the way to the top of the company. Go watch it now. You won't forget what he taught the world, without ever saying a word. See you soon.